Well, a 0-0 draw for Newcastle United in their return to the Champions League. There's the SAN SIRO stadium behind me. As you can see over my shoulder in the distance, high up into the gods, are the 4,000 Newcastle United supporters beginning to leave the stadium. It'll take them a while. They're way up there in the gods, but you could hear them loud and clear at the end there as the Newcastle players went over and thanked them for their support these last 24 to 48 hours. And boy, they needed them during that match, because Newcastle really had to dig into an AC Milan onslaught, particularly in the first half. They had so many chances. I mean, I counted at least 4 or 5 really good Nick Pope stops in that first half, and really Newcastle didn't really cause too many problems at all. Sean Longstaff went there in the first half, thought he had a penalty, would have been soft, and then he had that chance right at the death. 89th minute, I think, was on the clock when his shot was tipped over by Mike Mannion in goal. It was goal bound, and that would have absolutely pinched the 3 points for Newcastle. But I think looking at it, I think they can be happy with a point. They really dug in there in that first half. As I say, so many chances for AC Milan, and you know, Newcastle looked poor in the first half. I think it'd be fair to say they looked really rigid in midfield. They looked like they couldn't deal with AC Milan's free running, and it looked like only a matter of time. But they really dug in that first half, managed to weather the storm a little bit in the second half, before then conceding another couple of chances to AC Milan in the end. But it was enough. It was just enough for Newcastle to seal a point in their first group match. And you know, if anyone had said to Newcastle before, Eddie, how would you have taken a point here in the San Siro, and what was a cauldron of noise, an unbelievable atmosphere, really intimidating place to play football. I had no idea how big it was. Amazing stadium. I mean, some good stadiums over the years. That one, Atlanta, in the summer was unbelievable, but this just is so iconic, isn't it? And it's just the noise, the cauldron, the ultras and the home end really make it difficult for you. But Newcastle, particularly at the back, did very well. I thought Trippier was excellent. That little bit skill he did at the end, where he made the tackle and managed to keep in, summed up his performance. I thought Sharon Botman were very good. I thought Dan Burn struggled a bit at left back at times, but in terms of defensively, I thought he did well enough. Just not so good in the ball, but as we know, left back's not his favourite position. In midfield, Sandro Tonali, I think, struggled before he came off. Yes, he got a warm reception from the AC Milan fans when he was subbed off, but at half time there was a stat we were given. He had 14 touches of the ball in the first half, and on 7 of them he was dispossessed. Then he almost gave away a penalty free kick right on the edge of the box before being substituted, and yeah, he just looked off the boil today. I don't know if maybe the occasion was too much for him, but I thought Newcastle looked more composed and rigid actually when Elliot Anderson came on for him for the last 15 or 20 minutes. I thought Sean Longstaff was excellent in midfield. His energy, his work rate, his harassing, his chasing back, his getting forward, he's everywhere. I thought for a guy who hasn't played much this season, I thought he was excellent, and I thought it wasn't for Nick Pope saves in that first half, for me Longstaff would have been the man of the match. But look, Newcastle were out on their feet in the end, absolutely out on their feet those last few minutes. They couldn't string 2 passes together. They were knocking it out of the park rather than finding a man, and I think that just showed everything they put into the game. It's going to be a tough ask for them down at Bramall Lane against Sheffield United on Sunday, but that is what they're going to have to get used to with the Champions League. They knew it was coming, they knew it was going to be like this, and listen, great team performance that showed the togetherness, showed the spirit, and you know, I think they can go home proud with that. And I think the supporters who travelled in their numbers, you can see them over my shoulder there, I think they'll be delighted with a 0-0 draw, and I'd imagine their party will go on long into the night. They've been soaking up the sun all afternoon down in the canal area of Milan, and it's still early here. What are we? Before 9 o'clock, plenty of time for them to go and have a few more beers. Looks like they don't even want to leave the stadium actually, well, they're probably not allowed to leave actually, just looking over my shoulder. So yeah, listen, dogged performance by Newcastle, one they can be proud of, and it gives them a real platform to build on for the rest of the tournament, with 2 home games now against PSG and Dortmund to come next. So good start, solid start, exciting times ahead. I'm off down now to see the manager, and then the mix zone, hopefully speak to 1 or 2 of the Newcastle players, and we'll give you some reaction to that later. So yeah, listen, a proud performance in really difficult circumstances. A difficult day for Newcastle and their support after the incident earlier with the supporter being stabbed last night. But you know, he's back home, on his way back safely, I'm told, back to the northeast. And yeah, and Newcastle battle on as he does into the next group stage. So over and out for me in Milan in the San Siro tonight. It's been a great experience here. As I say, not amazing football, but sometimes That's not what you need. Sometimes you just need to dig in and get a point. And Newcastle did exactly that tonight. That point for them in that dressing room right now, with everything they've given, will feel like a win. Anyway, guys, see you soon. So I've just been in the mix zone speaking to a few of the Newcastle United players. Had a chat with the captain Kieran Trippier, Callum Wilson and Dan Burn as well. Trippier just said he was proud of his players. A proud moment for the captain tonight to lead the team out here in the Champions League at the SAN SIRO. I'm proud that they kept a clean sheet with that backs to the wall performance. Callum only played half hour, and I think he would have liked to have played more, but he said, look, the manager's going to rotate things. That is where we're going to have to get used to, and he probably expects himself to start against Sheffield United at Bramall Lane on Sunday. What a come down that'll be after that in the SAN SIRO tonight. But that is exactly what Newcastle United are going to have to get used to this season as they try to compete on both domestic and European fronts. Dan Burn, big smile on his face, pizza box under his arm. He was delighted with the way the team played, the team performed, and in his words he said, look, we showed tonight as a team that we belong at this level. So Nick, almost got a word with Nick Pope as he left as well. Man of the match tonight, some unbelievable saves, as we said in that first half there. Time after time and again he stopped it, repelled AC Milan, and then had to rely on his teammates to help with some pitch in with some brilliant blocks in that second half. So yeah, all four players positive, I think, for them, and I think for the fans up there. As I said, I think it'll probably feel like a victory due to the fact they had so little of the ball, but I think if anyone had offered them a point, a 0-0 draw, a clean sheet beforehand, they would have taken that with open arms. One other thing to mention was Sandro Tonali. I think he struggled tonight in midfield. Both him and Bruno just look off the pace at the moment. Don't know if Bruno's maybe just carrying a little niggle, but the two of them struggled, and I actually thought the midfield looked stronger once Elliot Anderson came on in the second half. I thought Sean Longstaff, as I mentioned earlier, was excellent, but I thought the Italian and the Brazilian just didn't look great tonight. Tonali in particular, the stat at half time that we were handed from UEFA said he'd had 14 touches of the ball in the first half, and of seven of them he was dispossessed. So not great. I don't know if he maybe struggled with just the evening and being back here. I don't know if it was the style, I don't know, but he just didn't look right tonight, Sandro Tonali, and Bruno kind of struggled alongside him. I think they need to get the balance right in midfield. Without doubt, they're missing Joe Willock and Joe Linton in there. The legs of those two, or at least one of them, getting up and down the pitch. You could see at the end they were really struggling to get from end to end as the players were absolutely blowing. And I just think those two have just got so much more energy in terms of their output and their legs, and to miss both of them at the moment is a big blow for Newcastle United, and they're really missing them both. So I think the sooner they can get at least one, if not two of them back, the better. But anyway, that's all from me here at the SAN SIRO tonight. Helicopter going by up there, you can hear it. It's always lively around these parts, and there's some Newcastle fans coming to say hi, so let's check out now while we can. See you soon.